Hi guys, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and it has been a long time since I have made an empath video, and so many of you have been reaching out, especially lately, and asking me to make another one. So today, before I go to work, I am going to make another empath video for you because you're right, when I started my channel, it was all about connecting empaths and building a community where empaths could go and embrace being an empath. And I think I strayed off of that because I'm really passionate about astrology as well. I'm really relying lately on the logic of astrology to help me through some of the tough spots that I have been feeling. Let's talk about energy. Okay, so lately the predominant energy that I have been feeling, which is Saturn and Scorpio's energy. Now, being a light empath, and if you don't know the difference between a light empath and a dark empath, please visit my website at Annette's Astrology Corner, and I have a couple articles I wrote on it. I need to elaborate. I need to get back to the basics, and this is part of, I think, my struggle and my journey with all this Scorpio and Saturn energy is to get me kind of back to why I initially started my channel. Not so much into the commercial aspect of it or making this a business, as I am just really trying to get people to understand what it's like to go through life as an empath. So, lately the energy of Scorpio has been dark, and I like to talk about dark empaths and light empaths because I just have a tendency to concentrate on just super light energy all the time. I like to stay in the highest vibration of energy, and so I think people who are more prone to always stay on the lighter side of life and always find a way to manipulate something into a really good experience, or such a, I'm an eternal optimist. Those people are genuinely, if they're an empath, they're a light empath. Now, if you're an empath, that you see the dark in everything, you see the darkness in human character. When you look at somebody, it's not like you see potential, it's like you see their core, their self, the darkest parts of them. You're a dark empath. Does that mean light and dark can't intertwine? Yes, they can. I absorb energy from everybody. So when I am around a dark empath, I will absorb dark empathic traits. And so I'm dragged down a lot more by dark energy than I can't pull myself out of dark energy. Dark empaths have this really cool gift that a light empath doesn't have, and they have this ability to feel the darkness in people, but yet function perfectly normal and know that that's just part of the human experience. I do not have that capability. When I feel darkness in people, I feel fear. It generates a lot of negativity in me, and I can't be who I am, this little light empath. I have to go in small doses of dark energy. If I'm around an energy vampire, I get stuck down, and I can't get back out until I get around somebody that pulls me out of the darkness. And, people call that depression. It's not. It's not depression. I'm not depressed. When energy is too dark, it overwhelms my light energy, and I find a hard time pulling myself up and making the lightness come back into my life. And I will seclude myself. I have these survival instincts that are built in. All empaths have them. Some people go into a fantasy world. Some people sleep a lot. Some people hide themselves away. I hide, and I stimulate myself with love and my home and family feeling, because the cancer stuff, and that really pulls me out of the darkness. And that's what I need to do to stay light, to keep everything as real as it possibly can be. It doesn't make me crazy, and it doesn't make me weird. Whatever coping skill a light or a dark empath has to do to get through energies that are opposite of their own energy, naturally opposite, they need to do it. Um, so I have been having a really rough time with absorbing the amount of Scorpio energy that's up there. Saturn is in Scorpio. It is a big energy to deal with on a daily basis. I'm extremely tired. Extremely tired. I'm seeing darkness around me. I started seeing dark shapes and shit, just looking and observing me. Now, I've been around enough Scorpios to know that they have this psychic ability to see the underworld. I don't. I never have. I mean, I've seen lost spirits only a couple times in my life, but they were never like dark and scary, or nothing bad's ever happened to me like that. But I think because I'm absorbing the Scorpio energy, I am taking on some of the traits of a Scorpio. And I think that's something that this came to me the other night, and it's not something that I knew. Now, understand, this is a development process for me, just like it is for everybody else to understand their empathic abilities. I did not understand that I would absorb energies, universal energies, that would modify my empathic abilities at that time. So I had no idea that, this Scorpio energy, this dark empath energy, would melt into my light empath world if a predominant energy was up there in a state of, in a transit that was a powerful transit. It's something I've learned. It's something that I am wrapping my head around. If you are unusually drawn to the darkness, and you're not normally like that, then understand that you're probably just going through a little bit of this. You're absorbing this Scorpio energy that's in Saturn, and Saturn is up there making people, very aware of their karmic issues, and very aware of, their karmic debt. And so this is a darker energy. This is tough. It's very tough for me. I have found that I needed to seclude myself more, that I just don't feel like going out. Now, I am a Leo, so I'm in the 12th house work as well. I'm a Leo on the cusp of Cancer. So I am doing some 12th house work, and 12th house is where Saturn is in my chart. So, of course, it's, dark Scorpio work. So it makes sense to me that what I'm manifesting, that the connection that I have to Saturn in my natal chart, if Saturn is in Scorpio, I'm going to feel it, and I'm going to start to take on some of the traits that Scorpios get. It is just not something I expected. I did not know, becoming very aware of your empathic abilities and the way that the gift that you have is tough. It's going to be a lifelong pursuit for you. To manifest the highest vibration will be a lifelong pursuit for you. To know when to set boundaries, lifelong pursuit for you. I think the toughest thing about being an empath is relationships. And I'm getting a lot of requests for some relationship advice. And I will make series on this, but I just thought I would drop you guys a video for some of those of you that need this right now. We all went through a series of karmic lessons back between 2012 and 2014, which most of us had felt even as far back as between 2007 and 2009. We went through these karmic jolts, right? Karmic relationships, jolts in our identity. And then we went through the Pluto-Uranus squares, and we went through the karmic debt. We went through paying back some of our karmic debt. The realization of our karmic debt. That was the years of 2012 to 2014. It was a very big time, very hard on empaths. That is when I found out I was an empath. It's when modern science never explained why I was what I was, but you know what? Now I know. And now I don't need to medicate it, and I don't need to try to make it go away. I just need to work with it. I'm not crazy. I'm not strange. I'm not odd. There's nothing special about me. I'm just an empath. I'm an energy healer. That's all I am. And it's good to know. It was very it was such an awakening within me. But along with that awakening, now comes the realism and the awareness. Yes, I am an empath. Now what? I knew I was different, but yeah, I really am different. My relationships are different because I'm different. You know, I attract people I have to heal. As an empath, you're a healer. If you're a dark empath, you heal the darkness in people. If you're a light empath, you bring lightness into people's life. You raise their vibration. If you're a dark empath, when relationships come into your life, you're a healer of the darkest realms of them. You are there to show them the way out of the darkness. That is your path. That is why you're being awakened right now. That is why relationships can be so very tough for people like you and I, is because what we attract into our lives are people who need healing. So what we need to do is to isolate the people that we need to heal from the actual romantic endeavors that we want to have. And so what we really need to do as empaths is seek people who are fellow light workers, energy workers, people that understand that, that we are what we are. We need to build a strong foundation. So what I can't see sometimes, fellow light workers or energy healers or empaths, you know, they can see it. So I can run by my relationship and they can say, oh, you're just being a healer in that relationship. And I'll be like, oh, okay, because I was really in love with this person. And because you're in love with weakness. You're in love with the darkest parts of the humanity. You're a healer. You don't love based on criteria and saying, okay, I love this person because they can make my life better. I love this person because they can elevate me and in my material world. We're not even remotely connected to that. We are connected to people that we need to make a difference in. That's what we find attractive. And, you know, one thing that's really important, you guys, for you to know is really know your chart, okay? Really understand you. Get back to the basics with you. You're trying to find yourself in relationships because there's a weakness in you. There's a suffering in you. When you feel the suffering of others, you are constantly sometimes in a state of suffering. And so it makes you feel like you have this no happiness or this loss of self-esteem. You're attracting relationships that one after another go wrong or go awry, and you don't understand. It's not that you're a bad person. It's not that you have poor judgment. It's that you're a healer and you love weakness and that you love people who need you. And your feelings could get jarred in the way that you pursue love. I don't think we truly understand what the difference is between compassion and love, or between nurturing and love. Like there's a line that we always got to work with and we got to truly understand. And it's a difficult line for everybody to learn. And it's not just you. I mean, all human beings suffer from this need to save the unsavables, you know, or for us to restore somebody and make them better. And we all go through these karmic lessons about where our boundaries are and where our lines are. And so many of you have been coming to me saying, you know, I'm just having one terrible relationship after another, and I just, you know, how do I live through this? I want you to know that you're not going through these things because, you know, there's no purpose to it. You're just suffering for the sake of suffering. You're going through these things because you're a healer. What we need to do is really know us. So, for instance, I took a year off and I am falling in love with me. I am putting all of the healing and the work into myself. Now, granted, I am still healing. I am still being an empath. I still can't even help it. I still attract people that I inevitably will have to always heal. But I'm also connecting to myself on a level of like, I'm going to always make sure that I have strong boundaries and a strong foundation before I embark on another relationship. It's very important for you to know who you are and the boundaries that you're going to set with people in the long run, being an empath. You need to be solid. You need to be strong in these convictions, because you attract the darkest parts of humanity to you. You attract people who need you and love you. People are drawn to you to heal them. That's your destiny on this planet. You don't have a choice. And I wish if some of you came up with a way to get away from it, I would love to know. I have learned to accept my fate and accept my destiny and just, know that, okay, this is going on. This is the way it's always going to be. And that's just my ill fate. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that for all of us that are mastering it, it's a difficult journey. And we are finding it through karmic relationships. Look, it's no mistake that you fall in love with who you fall in love with. And it's no mistake in the endings. The endings are karmic lessons about boundaries. The one that doesn't end means you're done in school, okay? You're done learning about your boundaries. You've established them. You've accepted them. And now you can move forward and have successful relationships. Now it's kind of like you went to Tibet and you're studying with the Tibetan monks. And when you first get there, you long for the material world. You long for your old life. You struggle. You struggle with all of the lessons that they learned. You have all of this preconditioned wiring. And then as you find peace and serenity in this Tibetan world, and as you find yourself, it all of a sudden shows you a different side of yourself that you didn't even know existed. That is what you're manifesting. You are growing right now. Light workers are being shown ways. There are messages all over the place if you take the time. If you are too busy healing every single person that comes along, then you do not have enough time to develop skills that you need in your life to be a successful empath. Look, being an empath is not about depression. It's not about medication. It's not about crazy relationships. If you are having those things, if that's what your life is centering around, then you have not mastered your skills yet. And that's okay, because we all go through a time period where we have to learn to master them. I hope that all of you guys go through it not like I did later on in life. I mean, I don't want you to wait until you're in your 40s to figure things out. I want you to know this stuff in the beginning when you're in your 20s and you're smart enough to not have so much suffering, but yet you know that you have something that everybody needs you to have. I will make more on this series. I know it's been a long time coming, and I do really, really love all the support, and I hope that you guys still continue to come to Annette's Astrology Corner, and my Facebook is an empath community. It's small, but I would love for it to grow larger and for us all to talk. I talk a lot about energy management on my Facebook. If the day has some very predominant dark energies in it, I really talk about how to find the highest vibration and energy. That is my job as a light worker, as a light empath, is to help keep people seeing the light. If you are a dark empath, it is your job to show them the way out of the darkness, to make them feel accepted for their dark energies that they have in them. It is your job to also balance. Being a dark empath can make you can be stuck in the dark realms, in the dark side of human behavior. You can actually succumb to it. So you really, when I hear people say, well, I don't know if I'm a light or if I'm a dark, well, you'll know what is the energies you predominantly see. I predominantly see light energy. I hate it because I wish I saw the darkness more, because then that would make me more realistic. But I don't. I predominantly see light energy. And so therefore, I don't have the skill set sometimes to manage dark energy when it happens to me, when I've accepted an energy vampire into my life. If you're predominantly drawn to dark energy, every time you see a person, you see the dark part of their soul, you're a dark empath. But it doesn't mean that you don't walk around and have a bunch and you're not well connected to light energy. Of course you are, because as I'm developing my light empath skills, I am now seeing the dark energy. I'm now seeing the darker parts. So I'm now finding that balance between dark and light energy. I'm not swinging so far to the light and I'm not swinging so far to the dark. I am somewhere in the middle. I can now see darkness in people. Now it has been scary lately, the revelation that I've had in seeing dark. Now granted, Scorpio's up there and Saturn's in my 12th house, so I'm seeing things on a different scale than I've ever seen them. But there's also something about where I think what these energies are trying to show me is the balance between my light and dark world, and stop being Pollyanna and, you know, concentrating on so much of the light in people that I don't protect myself as an empath. Guys, I love you. I really have a connection to fellow empaths, and I am going to do some more on this series. I really need to get back to the basics. I got a little lost there for a while just because it was very overwhelming when I first started my channel. I didn't expect it to take off, and it did. But now I want to get back to why I initially started this whole entire thing, was to just connect with fellow empaths. Have a wonderful day, guys, and I look forward to talking to you guys again in the next video.